All right, all right, all right. We are all right. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We got Mr. Nick just popped on. Mr. Nick just popped on. Look. We have a new person here, and we're going to go around the room real quick. You know what? I think I'm gonna stop the recording. So what is our biggest challenges? What is our biggest challenges when we want to make money? What do you think is the biggest challenge? Somebody real quick. What have we been talking about? What last from the week before? And I'm not even gonna ask as everybody did what the assignment. But anyway, based on what we're talking about, what is the biggest problem? What's your business?
How to price?
How to price. Why is that so difficult?
I think it's difficult because we don't know what we're buying and how much we're spending, so we don't know how to price the item that we're selling.
Okay, somebody else?
Fear of how the customer will respond.
Okay. Somebody else? Two more people real quick.
I'm trying to make sure that your prices are competitive, with your competitors. You don't want to be too high, don't want to be too low,
Okay, so look, we have to start talking about some of the challenges faced by entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs of faith when it comes to placing a value and price on your product or service. See, a lot of times we place a price, but listen, our challenge is, write this down, how do we place a value and price on our products or service? Okay, see, and here's the thing, you might be dealing with this challenge consciously or subconsciously. You consciously know, like, you're having a problem pricing your business, right? Or subconsciously, you throw something out there, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm not judging, because listen, trust me, we all have problems as business owners with pricing, or we shouldn't, but we do, especially when we start. See, so it's important to confront our perception, and what it is it's an unhealthy mindset that we got to cast aside. It's how we're thinking. It's how we're thinking about growth. It's how we're thinking about having a profitable business. We got to start changing that, because as kingdom entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general, our expectations should be of financial profitability. Okay? So I'm going to go from a part, guys, I'm going to go from a kingdom perspective. I'm going to use a scripture tonight, right, to talk about the problem in pricing. I'm going to use a scripture, if that's okay. And if it ain't okay, I'm still going to use it anyway. Okay? So, and then you got to think about the ultimate issue about pricing is stewardship. How do I handle this thing? We talked about a couple of weeks ago, preparing ourselves, right? Are we preparing ourselves really, one, for the wealth, or for the whatever it is that we're going after, right? For financial abundance. The key is for financial abundance. So we have to prepare ourselves. So in Luke chapter 16, verse 11, it says, if you are untrustworthy about worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches of heaven? Explain that when we are faithful in little things, we'll be faithful in large things. Keep in mind, as we take a look at the two most prevalent pricing mindset traps, we're going to talk about mindset traps tonight, right? That keep kingdom entrepreneurs from building financial thriving businesses. What is keeping, before we get started, I'm going to go around the room real quick. What is keeping you from a thriving financial business from your perspective right now? Bring it up real quick.
Me, I'm on, hold up.
Okay, all right. Come on, David. What you think? What's keeping you from that?
Building a strong relationship with clients, having a strong client base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, Mr. Nick. What's keeping you from getting back? You had that your strong financial base. What is keeping you from getting back to that thriving financial base?
Well, getting closer to God just through my transition. I'll just be honest. I recently surrendered about 2 months ago, and I've been homeless, driving around, and I've probably been happier than I ever had. So I'm just gonna keep going in that direction. It seems to be working right now, and I think that's what. As crazy as it sounds, it's like even at work the other day, I worked 11 days straight. I've never done that in my life. I had 4 hours sleep in 2 days. I said, I woke up the night before about 4 times, and I said, oh, my body's trying to tell me something. So that's what God's telling me to say right now. Just keep following him as I surrendered, and just take notes on the way.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about, write this down, mindset traps. This is going to be number one. Our first, see, it's a trap. Our mindset, it's a mindset of how we do pricing. See, problem in pricing is a mindset thing, right? It's how we're thinking it. And David hit on I think David hit on it earlier, or one of y'all hit on it. I can't remember. I know one of y'all. And number one, fear-based pricing. You said fear, right, David? Did you say fear, or was that Pastor? Somebody said fear. Anyway, fear-based. It was David. See, remember, in order for us to get to a certain place, right, it's the way we have to think. Our foundational thing, we have a lot of entrepreneurs out there right now that's chasing a bag, that might be getting the bag, but they're not sustaining the bag. I had a young lady that wanted me, and I had quite a few people, but I always like to use her as an example. She said she wanted me to do some stuff with her, right? And I said, well, how much do you charge? She said $1,600. I said, well, how do you know you're making money? Well, the guy who's mentoring me and I'm doing it, he told me to charge $1,600. I said, well, how do you know you're making money? She said, the guy told me to charge $1,600. And I said again, how do you know you're making money? To price your business. When you really think about pricing your business, I can attest for me, I used to be like, you know what? Man, I can't charge all that money. Remember, you need to write this down. Value and pricing. My mindset was just in pricing. I just wanted to price my service. I just wanted to price my product. I had a fear-based pricing mentality. So many kingdom entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in general struggle with profitability. And the root problem is fear. Fear that customers won't buy. Fear that your expenses won't cover you. Fear that you won't even break even. Fear of having to ask to beg for money. Fear of fear of pricing a value on your time. I tell people all the time, well, how much time are you paying yourself? How much time are you charging for? So if I'm studying for a workshop, right? I'm working. Do I put that in my price that I charge you? So do we charge on our time and our gifts? And then here's the big thing. Fear of being greedy, charging too much. So what normally happens is, so if you can stay with me, so because when we do fear-based pricing, we just throw a number out of the air, or we're underpricing what we do, because we're pricing and not pricing on value and pricing. When you talk about random pricing, we're talking about random pricing. Write this down. The thin air anti-strategy. Random pricing is the thin air anti-strategy. You're saying, well, man, I thought we're talking about pricing. Yeah, we're talking about pricing, how to price properly. how to understand, how do we, listen, how do I know I'm making money? Me and Jennifer had a young lady, and she thought she was charging this money, and she thought she was making money, right? So I went through the process with her, right? And I think what she was actually losing like $100 or something. She was actually losing money, but she thought she was making money because when she stole her stuff, she had money in her hand. See, a lot of times we got these businesses, we go, and we have this money. After we get paid, then we spend the money or we put whatever back in, not realizing, did we make any money? And we keep realizing why we can't scale up or why it feels like we're not making money, because we're not pricing right. So when we talk about random pricing, that's write that down. That's like thin air anti-strategy. Random prices is like guesstimate. See, too often decisions for pricing are simply guesstimates based off of answering questions like, oh, that sounds right. What do I think people will pay? What is the competition charging? And I promise you, this ain't what you want to do. If we get honest with yourself, how many people have done pricing before? Let's start not at your beginning stages. How did you get your prices?
I was charging what everyone else in the organization was charging, like the standard price for things.
Mm-hmm. Somebody else?
I was there's a shop minimum per se for all tattoo shops or all barber shops. So I at least charge that.
Okay. Now here's the thing. Can y'all break that down to me real quick?
What do you mean, break down the price of it?
Yeah. Everything included in that price and how much you made off of it.
Yeah, I can.
Go ahead.
A
And
warming dish.
And say it while you yeah. I made this much off of this. I made this much off of this. Yeah. Go ahead.
I got you. So a warming dish I would sell for $30.
Mm-hmm.
I paid X dollars and I made oh, hold on now. I made this is for us. You gonna post this on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh no, then I can't go.
You just
That's somebody else.
you ain't saying nothing.
Okay. So I sold a warming dish for $50. I bought it for $30, so I made a $20 profit.
You did? Where do you get the dish from?
The company would send it to the customer directly, so I wouldn't have on-hand product.
Did you talk to a lady?
Did I talk to who?
Did you talk to your client, your customer?
Yeah.
How long did you talk to your customer?
10, 15 minutes.
Okay. How much
30,
you charge?
30 minutes.
How much
30
you charge?
minutes.
How much you charge for 30 minutes?
Oh, I didn't charge for 30 minutes.
Oh, so and you said how much you made?
I guess not $20 because I didn't count.
Oh,
the
so you didn't
time
count.
that-
Okay. Did you talk to her on the phone?
I talked to her in person
You talked to her in person? Where do you see her at? Where were we all at?
at an event that I paid for.
That you
To
paid
be
for?
at.
How? Okay. And that you drove to?
Yep.
And how far was it? How far did you drive?
10 miles.
Okay. So now Nick is laughing. Y'all already, how much money did she make, y'all?
Starting to sound less than this $20.
Are y'all?
So question, I don't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, David. How much is, go ahead. What's your question?
When you incorporate the value of your product or your service, do you bring in all the efforts you put in into bringing in that product or that service? Do
Yeah.
you bring in all your efforts as well?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And guess what she didn't add? She didn't even add the value that she brought to the client, to the customer. So this is an example of thin air, anti-strategy. Just because they said it, they're doing it, they're charging this, so I'm gonna charge this. And I'm sorry, I had to use you as an example, Jen. This is exactly what you don't want to do. Because none of the questions that we asked,
For recording
sound-
purposes, I did change the price of the product and the
That-
profit.
thank you. So these questions, watch this. None of those questions had any validity towards your decision making. The questions that I asked: what sounds right? What do I think? What I think other will people pay? What are some of the competitors paying? See, the questions don't take into account your cost of doing business or any of your goals.
Mhm.
Okay, so even in that, let's because we're talking about throwing stuff in thin air, and based on our budget, based on the budget that I know she had, right? Don't say nothing, just keep smiling. Based on the budget that we have, right? And all the expenses that we have down in our budget, right? That we have to extract from the price, right? From that $50, we're just gonna use that as an example, right? We have to extract all that from that $50, right? Oh, we don't have a budget. So we can't make no financial decisions without a budget. So it's important to be strategic. All right. Next one, underpricing. And this is like a myth. It's mythological. It's a mythological route to profitability. The route that you're going really don't exist. Underpricing. Now, other than the fact that undervaluing and therefore underpricing is rooted in fear, you got to really listen, guys. Catch this. Notice I keep saying value and pricing. Value and pricing. When we're talking about value pricing, there's 5, 6 different types of way of pricing, but your most effective way is value pricing. So you have to price based on the value and based on what price you want to have, right? Because if I listen, and we'll talk about this, if I solve an identifiable problem in my customer, right, where cost is not an issue, right, and I add value to that person, cost will not be an issue. So underpricing, undervaluing is a root of fear. And we have to address that. We got to start addressing some things so we can have a stable, professional, well-planned business that our pricing covers. You know, remember the 4 S's: structure, strategy, system, and sales. Strategies or how you do your pricing, that you price to cover your business and to cover your family, your household. So when we're talking about underpricing, we're assuming, man, I'm gonna underbid everybody. I'm gonna lowball everybody. If I lowball everybody, everybody's gonna come my way. We really believe that's gonna attract a whole lot of customers. But in reality, low pricing actually repels or chases away people. Why? Because your prices are too low. Guess who, and I guess rooted in this, we have a fear of asking for money. So we underprice. Guess who one of the greatest people in the world who does not have a fear of asking for money? They will never have fear. Matter of fact, they will actually if they see you with more money, will ask you for more. So let me tell you, homeless people are some of the best people who are not afraid to ask for money. They will say, and I was homeless for 3 years, so I'm talking about me too, but I did mine a different way. They will say, can you give me $1? And you will pull out your money and they will see more money. They say, man, can I get them 2 other ones there with you? Why do they not have a fear of asking for money, but we do? Why? Listen, they upscaled when they saw you with more money. But yet we want to underprice, right? Thinking we're going to get people. It's because if you pricing too low, potential customers, watch this, will believe that you can't deliver what you're promising. They'll be suspicious and skeptical. They don't think you have anything good. Number two, let me stop real quick. Any questions? Any questions about number one, mindset trapping? Number one, are there any questions? Do you identify with any of those things real quick? Do you identify with any of those things that we talked about when it's pertaining to you pricing? Just nod. All right, mindset trap 2. Remember, listen, pricing is a mindset. I have to change. I cannot be afraid to ask, right? For what, listen, if I'm in business 1 year and somebody's been in business 10 years, do I believe I can charge the same price as them with performing the same service? Is that a yes or no? What do you think? I can't yell on mute. Now I only start. I ain't even been in business for a year. They've been in business for 10 years. Can I charge the same price they charge? You said no? How many
I
people?
would not, because you have as much value. I would say you don't have as much value as in stock as somebody that has 10 years and doing something specific. So I would think you wouldn't be able to.
So
I think it depends on the product that you're selling.
Right.
So it's a physical product. I can sell the same price because we have the same item. But if it's more of a interaction as we're doing right now, maybe not if you don't have that value certifications and backing. But if I'm selling you a gallon of milk and they charging $5 and I got the same gallon of milk, I can charge the $5.
So go ahead, Pastor. You didn't say nothing. Can I?
Yeah, I'm trying when this little boy not hollering, but
No,
yeah,
he's
no,
good.
I was thinking along the same lines as Jennifer was. I mean,
Oh, you and Jennifer always think alike. I don't know why.
Well,
I should just tell y'all to talk at the same time, but go ahead.
I understand what David is saying too, but also because you had to consider, it depends, because if I've been working with somebody, say I've been their employee for all this time and I'm now branching out on my own, I know the trick, I know the tricks of the trade, I know the language, I know what to do, how to do it, to do the same thing, deliver the same, and possibly even do it better because I see the flaws that they have, and so you got to think about it. That's why you have to sign. Sometimes you have to have the what's the disclosure, the conflict of interest for that very reason. Sometimes, so yeah, sometimes depending on what it is, you can. I mean, you know what you bring to the table.
So we can charge the same price as someone been in business for 10 years. Yes.
Know what it is? I say so.
Yes. No, it's not a trick question.
I'll say yes.
And it's based on pricing. You can price the same price as that person. Yes. Hello.
You asking everyone, or you asking?
So look, let me just make it real clear.
Well,
No,
Brittany has a cleaning business, so that would be a perfect question. Brittany, how does she price?
Brittany, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How do you price?
Usually, like, well, for every commercial job I had, I usually go and ask what was the previous contract before mine.
So that goes back to when we say the competitor. So watch this. It don't matter what, I know the price of the competitor, but I'm not pricing based on a competitor. I'm pricing based on my value. I'm pricing, and we'll talk about this down the road, I'm pricing based on the problem that you have, the identifiable problem that you have. I add value to you where cost is not an issue. Give you an example, what I'm talking about. You go to the store, you're really looking for something. You'll see something and you'll call the salesperson over and you'll look at it, right? And you'll be like, well, how much is this? And they'll tell you, right? You'll go to the store again. There's something particular that you're looking for and you see it. You call the salesperson over and you asked about it and you take it to the counter. What didn't I do? I'd never asked for the price.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying we have to change our mindset about pricing. It has nothing to do with the years. It has what value do I remember? We're talking about value and pricing. I'm pricing based on my value. Has nothing to do with the other person. Of course, I'm always going to do a demographic or a marketing and see what the average cost is. I'm not going to be crazy, but that's not going to determine what I charge. The years in service is not going to charge. It's not going to determine what I charge. What somebody else did is not going to determine what I charge. So when we look at that, when we're charging based on what somebody else said, maybe listen. What that means, I'm putting my value as that person that was previously that they don't no longer use. So if I'm better than that person, then I shouldn't be charging that or less than that person. That makes sense. Because watch this. Number two, mindset. Number two, write this down. Visionless and short-sighted pricing. Visionless and short-sighted pricing. Every major Fortune 500 company that started, the Gates and all of them people, right? They knew exactly what their value was. Think about some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies, right? They went and pitched at all these businesses, right? Matter of fact, Shark Tank is a great example. Sometimes these guys will be on Shark Tank and they'll say, okay, I'll give you 200,000 and I'll take 5%. And I'm sitting there saying, man, take that 200,000. And the person says, no. Or they'll say, I'll give you 200,000 and 20%. They'll say, no, I'll take the 200,000, but you only get 5%. Now, mind you, they're on a show to get some money. They were just offered 200,000. And it's a sticking point of the percentage of the company. Now, mind you, I need the 200,000. Most people would take it sometime. But if you understand your value, we had a situation, sometimes Section 8 want to give these certain amount of money for a voucher for your apartment, right? And you'll look at it and you say, okay, they'll say one number, you say the other number. It don't matter what number they say. I'm gonna take the number that I value my apartment. It doesn't make a difference what number a person has. I'm going to make my number based on my value. Value pricing is one of the most effective ways to price because you get the biggest return because you are pricing based on you. Based on you. I'm saying what I do, service or product, what I do or have is way better than anything that you can get. And I'm not going to give you my Cadillac for a Volkswagen price. Now, if I'm new, I'll make some concessions, but I'll have a price line of what I'm not going to go under. Remember, with your budget, 85%, you got 15% to leeway up or down. So that means I still have 5% to play with just in case I do want to take something less. I'm still not losing money. Because what I have 15% to play with that I can pretty much give away or do whatever I want with it. I got 10% for growth. Okay, I'll take 5% from that growth. I'll make some money. But look, watch this. But I'm not losing. All right. Visionless, short-sighted pricing. For my people, when God orchestrates all this for us. Listen, there are 18 Christian Fortune 500 companies, but the average Fortune 500 company, the owner, the CEOs have some type of spiritual connection to God. They understand kingdom principles. They use the world uses kingdom principles in everything that they do. So when you lack a God-given vision for your business, you can easily fall into the trap of not taking into account important factors for the growth of your business. When you're pricing your product or service. I'm going to say that again. God has given you a vision. God shows us something about something that we can do. He has gifted us to do a particular thing. Right? Have you ever been like seeing this thing in your business or seeing this thing in your head, this idea, and it just wouldn't go away? It just won't go away. You know this thing is going to work for your business. But if you just start a business and didn't see nothing, it doesn't take into account when you don't see anything or when you don't have that vision. It don't take into account the factors for the growth of your business. When you price your business or your product, are you pricing with growth in the mindset? What do I always say about how do we prepare for scaling up? Somebody say it real quick. How do we prepare for scaling up? I just said it earlier. We make an 85% budget, 10% for scaling up, 5% for incidentals. I understand that in my pricing. Some of the things and the biggest thing, have you factor in paying for yourself? Have you factor in that you might need contractors, employees, equipment? You might have to scale up. Have you factored in all these things? Factored in what some of the things that you need for your infrastructure or technology to better serve your customers. I start my business, but I see that thing over there. I really need that thing over there as soon as possible to increase revenue, but to provide a better service for my customers. Do I include that in my budget, to include that in my pricing? So for instance, when I sell something, 10% of that goes towards that thing that I'm trying to get. Or do I just wait and try to see, I get all this money in my hand and then I'll go buy something? So what don't we do? We do not look at the larger picture. We don't look at the bigger picture. Remember, Exodus is the incubation program. How we set you up? We set you up as if you're already a Fortune 500 company. That means I don't have to change into it. I have to what? Grow into it. So when you're not looking at the bigger picture, guess what happened? Guess what you're positioning yourself for? Remember we talked about positioning yourself for what? For overflow? But when you don't take into account the bigger picture, you're positioning yourself for a cash flow problem. And you think you'll be able to fix it by selling more. And that don't work. And guess what comes along with that? Stress, faithless hustling, and the biggest one of them all, grinding. Man, I gotta grind, I gotta grind. Somebody do me a real quick. Somebody look up the definition for grind. But we want to grind. We're going to grind to make this money. We're going to grind, right? Let me show you something. And this is all pertaining to business, pricing, profit. How do I make a profit? How do I know I'm making money? Because we refuse to set up our business properly. We refuse to do the structure, strategy, system, and sale. We refuse to have that business model. We refuse to actually put in all the things that's needed, right, to become a six-figure earner. Not a six figures that I made, but six figures that I earned. What is the definition of grind?
Webster said, to reduce a small particle of powder and crushing it.
Crushing. Keep going.
Sharpen, smoothen, or produce something by crushing or bringing it to a small particles. Operate a mill or machine by turning the handle, again, crushing action.
So grinding,
By grind.
think about it. Grinding is hard.
Mhm.
You're crushing something. You're crushing. So if I'm grinding, right, I'm grinding, that means I'm crushing something. I'm working hard.
Yeah,
Why
consistent
are we
moving.
consistently
moving.
Consistently. Why am I grinding so hard to make $1?
Yeah,
The reason-
excessive hard work.
It's hard work. The reason I'm grinding is because I'm not pricing right, and I'm constantly trying to catch up. Remember, I said because we're not looking at the bigger picture, we are always having cash flow problems. You got to get the blueprint. Don't be like condemned if you were in these first two mindsets. You're not alone. I'm in them too. But what we have to do, we have to start. Now we have the information. Now we see this thing. We have to start confronting these traps that we're using in our mind when we price. Because watch this, write this down. We have to create purposeful pricing. Your pricing has to have a purpose, right? What am I trying to achieve with my profit, right? It has to be purposeful pricing to do and produce a particular thing. It's more than just trying to make money. And even if you haven't been dealt with none of these things, these next couple of sessions that we're going to talk about, you're going to realize I really wasn't doing purposeful pricing, because it's a different approach from what the world prices. So that's what I want you to do. Take a moment to assess your current situation. Have you fallen into any of these mind traps? Have you established the pricing for your product or service up to this point? Now, here's the questions that you need to answer. You need to ponder those right there. So make sure when you get to take, are you dropping it in the chat or something? Okay, here's the first one. Here's the question. Are your prices random? Why? Is it because fear or because you are not aware of your cost or goals? Man, Is it that, watch this. This just took another turn. Is it because of fear or because you are not aware of cost or goals? You're not aware of what it's costing you to do what you do. And what is your goal? Because if
Can you
I don't,
repeat that?
the whole thing, are your prices random? And then the next question is why? Is it because of fear or because you're not aware of your costs and goals? See, the average, I have to say this, the average entrepreneur does not want to learn this. Because we're talking about sustainability. We're talking about growth. We're talking about, listen, we're talking about that one foundational service, right? No matter what happens, I have that one service every month. I know this is going to generate this amount of money. Because I priced it right, right? I priced it right. I valued it. I priced it based on the value, and I made sure that it was a purposeful pricing for a particular thing, for a particular outcome. When you price, what outcome are you trying to get from that amount you're pricing? What are you trying to get? Are you earmarking that to something? Your profit, if you know you're having a profit, what is that profit being earmarked to? Next question, are you underpricing? Are you underpricing? Everybody under the sound of my voice, I underprice. That's in front of me.
I know
Yeah.
price.
Yeah. But then I have another whole contingency that I'm pricing right. Because you guys are grandfathered into the old prices. Now don't bring y'all up to the new ones. Next question. Do you have a written vision of your business? I ain't talking about business plan. You do not need a business plan without first producing an operational plan. I'm telling you now. For all y'all under the sound of my voice, stop having people to tell y'all you need a business plan when you first start your business. At some point, you're going to need a business plan, but you don't need one right now. We're talking about, do you have a written vision for your business? And watch this, was that vision considered when developing your pricing? I'm gonna say it again. I'm not talking about a business plan as your vision. No. If you're a new startup, stop. Don't even waste your time on a business plan. Get your operational plan that'll create the statistic and data for a business plan. And we'll talk about that some other time. So what we're going to talk about at our next session, I might start dropping some of this in the text in the group chat. Write this down: the 7 essentials of pricing with purpose. I'll tell you the 7 so you can have it, so you can get a jump on it. Because here's where all the fun begins, right? Here is where all the fun begins. In order to have personable pricing, there are 7 essentials that you need to know. Not just need to know, you need to implement them for your business. Just like I tell you the 4 S's, the structure, strategy, system, and sale. When you talk about business model, there's 7 criteria to a business model. So you have to have these things. So these are the 7 essentials of pricing with purpose. 1, know what you want. 2, know who you are serving and the problem you're solving. 3, know the value of what you offer. 4, know your why and what it costs. 5, establish a revenue goal. 6, establish a profit goal. And 7, know your break even. So what's going to happen with y'all? This is what I need y'all to do. All 7 of these, when we start going on, you need to put it on a separate, you need to have a separate tablet for each one of these. But, you know, technology now, y'all do whatever y'all do on the computer. Create you a page, create you whatever. For each essential, and start yourself a purposeful pricing notebook. Okay? All right, we're going to get ready to go around the room. Did y'all want me to say those 7s real quick, even though y'all can get it on the recording? Okay, let's go around. Say it again. You want me to say them over, David?
One last time, please.
Okay. Number 1, know what you want. Number 2, know who you are serving and the problem you're solving. Because we do know business is nothing but about solving problems. Number 3, know the value of what you offer. Number 4, know your why and what it costs. Number 5, establish a revenue goal. Number 6, establish a profit goal. And number 7, know your break even. All right, let's go around the room. Once you get done writing, tell me what you got out of today's lesson. Was it useful? Was it not useful? Are you going to use it? How are you going to start applying it? Are you going to go further and study and go do Google or do whatever you do to expound on what you're learning? All right, who would like to go first? Oh, y'all still writing. This make me feel like a DJ. Hey, Mr. DJ. Yeah. Ain't nothing shaking but the
So do we
DJ.
have a specific?
What? Say that again, David?
I'm sorry. Do we have a specific assignment?
Yeah. Those questions, are your prices random? Why? Is it because of fear or
Okay.
because you're not aware of your costs or goals? Second one, are you underpricing? Number 3, do you have, which is really important, do you have a written vision for your business? Was that vision considered when developing your pricing?
Okay.
Okay. It'll be on the recording too. All right, who want to go first? Man, I really feel like a DJ when I put this like this. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
okay.
Pastor.
So actually, I mean, from the beginning to now, about all of it pertained. I mean, it was all great. But the value, I think, just looking at the thing what you're talking about, like underpricing, kind of stood out to me because we do tend to sometimes, just because we want to be competitive, and sometimes we think we just want to try to put it where people can get it and stuff like that, and we disvalue ourselves, if that's even a word. We take the value away by doing that and put ourselves in a hole, and so that's that, and I can see me doing that. So so I got a lot from that part right there. That kind of stood out to me a lot right there. So not to underprice and undervalue or devalue myself.
Okay, next. Yeah, we don't have to figure stuff out. You don't have to figure out your prices. You just have to do your prices. Go ahead, David. I know you get ready to say something. Okay, Miss Brittany. Go ahead, Miss Brittany.
Oh, no, I was just about to say that mine is I've been visionless and short-sighted in my pricing, and also I created a vision plan, but I never considered the operations and all those type of things into my vision plan. And I
So-
plan to get on Google and do some more research.
Oh no, don't you can do some more research, but Miss Jennifer will be coaching you, so that's right up her alley. So y'all two exchange and she gotta set her up for it for what you call it, and then we'll talk about it. So make sure you set her up for consultation for this week or next week. You got it. But oh, you're gonna love this if you come on board. I'm telling you. Jen don't play.
I hope you're ready. But we got it. We talked via text yesterday, and then today was the first this meeting. We'll meet next week.
Can I help y'all something? And I know this young generation is stop texting and be personal. Your business is personal. Your business is relational. Get used to talking to people. Yeah, we do
still
send out.
recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. I'm definitely recording this.
Okay, I'll wait till the recording go on.
Okay, yeah. You can use your texting and we got an email and stuff like that. But you have a business. You need to talk to people. Form a relationship with people. Thank you. All right. Come on, Mr. Nick. I mean, David, one of y'all.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go back. I learned that I need to go back to the first time that I did this and go over everything. This has been great for me. I just have a lot of notes and I have to review them all before I go forward. But I made a lot of mistakes and they can all be corrected. I've been shortchanging myself, and I guess in order to see this vision through, I don't mean I guess, in order to see this vision through, I'm in the right place, so it's done right. I just wanted I started, this is part of a question. So basically I got to review all this stuff. I want to go back to the beginning. This has been awesome every week. But number one today was that value and price on your product and service. And then number two was visionless and short-sighted pricing. Did I get that right?
You
And then
got
we
it.
go to the 7.
Go ahead. I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, so that was number one, right?
That was number two. The vision was number two, and your first one
Number
value was number one. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I was on it today. All right. Not to go over. Well, thank you. I just want to say thank you. That's all.
And make sure you get with Jen so we can set up a meet.
I'll make sure I call her.
Okay, go ahead, Davito.
I got a scheduled text to you tomorrow. You good? I got you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I learned that I need to look more in depth in my pricing, my product and my service, and the value what I bring, and how I go about basically my price. I just need to look more in depth into it and have a bigger perspective.
Yeah, that was good, David. Because if you're not looking at it from a larger picture, what happens is you're just asking yourself for cash flow problems, and you assume you can make it up by getting more people or selling more product or selling more service, and it just don't work that way. Do you want to say something, Jen? Hold on, wait a second. She's gonna say something now.